Happy Thursday. Today we are doing our fall garden refresh. So as you're going to see in a second, the garden has gotten totally out of hand, which is my fault. And my parents are here this weekend, and so we are going to be refreshing the garden for the fall. And what I'm going to do right now is just go through and do like a final harvest of everything that's still harvestable. So I've got a lot of tomatoes that are still green, but we're just going to pick those and maybe fry them later. And then we're going to be cleaning everything out. So it should be a pretty fun time lapse to watch. We'll start off right here. All of these tomatoes are going to come out. Those will not overwinter. This I'm trying to turn into a herb bed, so it'll be just herbs. And so I'm going to leave that rosemary growing there. And that lettuce is doing fine, so that's going to stay. But this tomato is going to come out. Over here, this was a squash. These tomatoes are all looking about done. I'm just gonna harvest the green ones. Squash died a while ago, so this is just gonna get a total refresh. And the plan is we'll probably pull most of everything out here, and then we're gonna put down a layer of compost. Not gonna till anything up, so like when you till things up, you're going to disturb all of the seeds that are underneath there. So if you want a bunch of weeds to grow in your bed, that would be a good thing to do, but that's probably not what you want. So we are going to not till and just layer on top, and that should help keep some of the weeds down. This bed has gotten really bad, just grass in it, so I'm hoping by suppressing here, I might even add a layer of cardboard to this bed in particular, kind of get that all suppressed back down. Sunflowers have been harvested. This tomato has gotten totally crazy, which is like not good per se, but I think it is interesting. Like, just look how tall this one tomato has gotten on this arched trellis. There might even be one good red tomato left right here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe one good red tomato left for us. It's got so crazy up here, I couldn't do any pruning. It's too tall. All right. I think that's good there. All right, this bed, this is the story of all of these beds really, but just really overgrown. This one cherry tomato plant has taken over the whole bed, and there actually are like a couple cherry tomatoes, but they've mostly been picked over by bugs. So we'll just leave those. And there's lots of green cherry tomatoes, but I don't even know if those would be good fried. You think we can fry these?
I have no idea.
Kind of cool looking. Even if we don't fry them. There were going to be a lot of cherry tomatoes, but I think this plant has seen its life. Spider webs! Now here is the one bed where some stuff is gonna stay. So these peppers have just started to like really start producing. And so I'm gonna leave these peppers. These, wow, look at that. This is Swiss chard that got just totally pest pressured, but these leaves have just started to grow some new ones. It has like an insane stalk on this Swiss chard. So maybe we'll leave that too, I don't know. Yeah, these peppers have really just started to come in, and they should like produce for a while. So I'll probably leave these, and we'll just harvest, or not harvest, we'll just add compost in around them to kind of start putting these grasses down. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm hoping that this pepper starts producing soon, because these are supposed to be purple peppers. The Lilo purples. And I started this from seed, and it's got a ton of blooms on it. What is that? Some sort of bug laid eggs. Look at that. They're like perfectly, that's pretty amazing. But I don't see any purple peppers. Okay, over here, just got buddy. This is an eggplant, and it actually has a couple good blooms. Like that's going to be an eggplant right there, and this is going to be an eggplant. This squash that was right here kind of killed this a little bit back, but once I cut that squash back, this eggplant's been doing really well. So I'm gonna try and let it live a little bit longer and see if I can get a couple more eggplants off it. This is a Tomatillo, I can never say it, but it's got tons of little blooms, but I just haven't really gotten that many actual fruits from it. I don't really know why that is. It's probably because I haven't pruned it at all, would be my best guess. And so it's gonna come out, as well as that tomato over there. And then we can just look from afar at the jungle that is the rose right now. All of these tomatoes are gonna be coming down. This row actually has some potatoes in it that's already popped up, so I'll probably leave that. Gonna harvest a couple flowers right here. And the third row over here is just a disaster. So we're gonna be cutting this all the way to the ground. Doesn't even look like a garden right now. Cutting that all the way down, putting compost, landscaping that, getting that looking right. So this is gonna be quite the transition when we're done. But here's the before clip, and I will put it on some time lapse for you guys to enjoy. See you back in a bit. So we started out with just tearing everything out. My mom was working on some beds where everything was coming out, and William and my dad were using the lawnmower and the weed eater to get the ground totally cleared up, which had also gotten really overgrown. And when we were working on the trellis, I found this. All right, here we have got tomato hornworm. It's got a big horn on its head, and if you see these on your tomatoes, that is bad news. You would want to get that off. The teardown is going much faster with 4 people. We're doing good. So I fed that guy to the chickens and we got back to work. My dad got his hedge trimmer out to cut these tomatoes and some of the really overgrown parts down, which was really, really helpful. And then I was working to get some of the stuff off the trellises and off the fence, because we're going to take a couple fence pieces out to get in there with the compost in a little bit. This was about 4.5 hours worth of film, so it goes by for you in about a couple minutes, but it was a ton of work. And then the chickens were out with us, which was also really fun, and they were eating all the bugs. And this is about where we break for lunch. All right, we are at the halfway point. How we doing, William?
We're good. Making progress.
Making progress. Mom, Dad, any commentary?
I love Libby and William.
Okay.
We're doing great.
Oh, good. Okay, so everything has been freshly mowed. It looks beautiful. And everything is pulled out besides plants that are staying. In all of the beds, look how nice and neat and clean everything is. And mainly the things that got left right here were just peppers, but everything's so neat and clean all around, which is not how the garden has been, so that's so nice. And then here we've got this all mowed down, all the tomatoes off, and we're gonna actually do landscaping net on our walking paths with some mulch on top. And then everything is going to get a layer of compost. So all 6 beds will get a layer of compost on top, as well as each of the rows, 3 rows here. We left a couple potato plants that popped up, as well as my zinnias that are still growing. And yeah, so now we're ready to start adding back on. We've got compost and mulch from Clemson's Composting Center. So if you're up in the upstate of South Carolina, definitely go check them out. I will leave the link for where you can purchase topsoil, compost, and mulch from them in the description. Back to the time lapse. So after lunch, we got to shoveling all of the compost into the beds, and I just added about 3 to 4 inches to each bed to give them a nice refresh. And then here we put the compost on the rows as well, and in between in the walking paths we put down mulch, which should help keep the weeds down. I am hoping this will be really helpful, and I think in the winter we'll have a little bit less pressure, which will be good. We had a little bit of trouble getting them to dump out of the dump trailer, but we did eventually get it. And Mom and I are working on doing some planting while William and Dad were shoveling all of this mulch, but the row area turned out really good, and I'm really excited to have that landscaping tarp down on my walkways. And then Mom and I started planting directly into all the beds that had compost in them. We did some lettuces, peas, beets. It was really fun picking out the varieties with her and getting to put those all in the ground. So we are officially ready for fall to come. And we have all the seeds in the ground, and they are just waiting to pop up. So fingers crossed we start to see them soon. Whew, we are finally finished. You can see through all those time lapses all the hard work that went on today. We got everything replanted too. This is being drip irrigated right now. I am honestly amazed all the work I got done. So let me take you around to show you everything that we did. The 3 rows right here, if you remember your before shot, I'll try and clip it in. This is all replanted now. This row here has got some random seeds that I saved there, peas all down the middle, and then in the back is a lot of collards all through there. Yeah, so peas on the trellis. And then here we've got our couple potatoes and our zinnias that are still growing that are here. And then I've got cabbages in the back. But it is just a total transformation. In this bed here, we did all carrots, and I've still got those 2 eggplants going, but it's totally refreshed, looking great. Here are the peppers that are still growing, as well as some parsley in the back there. And this one, I did all beans, as well as some beans that are gonna trellis here. Hopefully we'll see if they make it. This one is beets, everywhere except around the trellis, which has some peas. This bed is all my lettuces and greens, so kales and lettuces are all in this bed here. And this one I have planted more herbs in, but also we should just appreciate how beautiful and different it looks now that it's all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this garden transformation video. I make videos about gardens, chickens, and a little bit of motherhood every week, and I put out new videos every Thursday. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys back here.